to know the prior season. It doesn't hurt.
Sure.
Because like some characters might like.
How do they make that? So it's completely separate than the movie then?
Yes, but
Okay.
it's like the first season of Fargo is kind of like pulls from the movie.
Sure.
Like it's similar for sure, but it's like a more detailed version of it.
Gotcha.
But you can watch them like without the others and still get it.
Is it on Hulu? What is it on?
Yeah, so it's FX. So
it's on Hulu.
Hulu, I think, owns the rights to FX.
I pay like
for
I still pay for like a student Hulu and Spotify account, so it has ads, and ads on Hulu are the worst.
It's like
The
a
ads
minute
are
and a
worst.
half, and it's like every 5 minutes you get a minute
It's
and a
also
half. You're like,
substantially louder, so it's like it just
Oh, yeah.
blasts you out of nowhere, which sucks. Which is just them trying to get you to get it, but I haven't done it yet.
I heard something about that, like the whole advertisement being louder than the show is like a marketing thing.
For sure.
Which is crazy because like how do you like who did they run that by where they were like, hey, we're gonna keep the show at a certain volume, but we're gonna create like how do you even control that?
I don't know, but I think it's just a way to get you to like pay for the ad free stuff, so that you're not just getting blasted randomly. But then it just makes me never use the app. I'm like, whatever, I'll pay for every other app besides Hulu.
You're paying for services out of spite, like the benefits of them. You're
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Like I need this service. I need. To see
dude,
this
if someone's
show,
like,
but
what's that one? What's the Shogun? That's on the same thing.
I've
It's
heard
like
about
Hulu
that,
FX
yeah.
thing. I've been wanting to watch that, but I'm like, unless I'm just gonna pay for FX, which I'll probably end up doing, I'm not watching on Hulu. There's no way.
I think you can get the FX app, but you have to have like what is your TV provider. So you might be able to get it ad free, but unless you have like a cable provider, you
can't
can't
just
watch
do
it
like the
ad-free.
HBO Max type situation where you just pay for the thing.
Maybe on Hulu, like you do an add-on. You mean?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'll probably just do that because I don't have cable.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to know anybody that has cable anymore. They either have like YouTube TV or like Amazon, and it has all the add-ons or something.
I think even my parents got rid of cable, which is pretty crazy.
That's remarkable. Like
I
the
think they
prior
have,
generation.
yeah. Because my
That's
mom's
crazy.
like 68, 69, my dad's 75. But I don't think they have cable anymore. They definitely don't, like up in North Carolina where they have that cabin. They got rid of it completely. And it's just like Samsung TV or whatever. Kind of like the Roku has.
Yeah.
Where they have like 1,000 channels.
Yeah.
It's like that. But
It's crazy for that generation to do that because they're so used to things being pre-programmed. Like,
oh, for sure.
This will be on at 5:30, so we know we can like plan our day around that, or like whatever the show is.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's like you don't even have to think about it. It'd be like if your meals were pre-planned.
Right.
But when you're like an adult, you get out on your own. You're not under that like umbrella anymore, and you're like, oh, I got to cook for myself. I have to figure out what's for dinner tonight. I can't just get to dinner time and it be ready.
Oh, dude, I still don't really even know what to eat sometimes.
Oh, dude,
like,
who
I had like
does?
chicken and popcorn was my dinner the other night. I was just
Chicken
like,
and popcorn?
Well, I had chicken, and then I was like, I don't got no rice cooked or anything, so I just ate a bag of popcorn. I was like, whatever, who cares?
You popped a regular bag of popcorn? Or you had like the popcorn in a bag that's already
I
pre-made?
popped a regular bag.
Word.
Just 2 minutes, and I was done.
That's wild.
I think
never
Sarah
heard
was
of
gone
somebody doing
somewhere,
that.
and I was just like, fuck
Yeah.
it. I'm not cooking. If she was out at dinner, I'm like, I'm not cooking for myself. That's totally fine.
Yeah, when you're left to your own like devices, it's very hard to like have a structure.
Oh, for sure. Dude, when she goes out of town ever, I immediately am like 16 years old again. I'm eating
Yeah,
Taco
you're like
Bell, and I'm playing video games.
Sour
late, and
Skittles.
it's-
You're just like, I'm staying up
yeah,
late
pretty
tonight,
much.
dude.
And what's funny is when she's in town, like, I mean, regularly, I'm the one that's always going to bed early. But then when she's gone, I'm just like, I don't know, it feels weird. I'm just going to sit on the couch with the dog and play video games all night.
I think there's something to that, like the comfort you feel when you're with like somebody that you care a lot about. Your stress levels and anxiety lower whenever they're around, so you feel like sleepier.
Oh, for sure.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
you'll be like, no, let's watch a movie, and then you'll be like 10 minutes in, you're like,
Oh, it's every movie.
Yeah.
I can't make it through a movie. We went to go watch Wicked the other day, and I was getting the
but that's
elbow.
7 hours.
It was
crazy.
2 hours and like 40-something minutes. It was good, though.
Yeah, no,
It
I
was
agree.
super
I went
good.
and saw it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sarah saw it twice. She was very important for me to see it, which I was like, I'm down for. I mean, we've been together forever, and she's been listening to that soundtrack forever. So I knew the words to songs that I like had no context to.
Oh, yeah.
But it's funny because
The popular song was popular.
is dope.
Like,
yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah, popular. And then
or
Defying
whatever.
Gravity is like,
What is it? How's that go?
I'm not singing.
Like, give me the hum.
It's the last song that she sings whenever she's like flying around.
I don't know that one.
Dude,
I know this scene, but I can't think of
Defying
like
Gravity is like the other song that everybody knows.
Give me the hum. Give me the like.
At the end, when she's like, "Nothing bring me down," and it's that the I can't hit that note, but it's the like one that you see everybody do. I think maybe just because I know a bunch of theater kids growing up.
Yeah, that might be it.
That they all know that song.
Maybe I promise you, if I heard it, because one of my jobs is Target, and I don't know if they've signed a deal with Taylor Swift and Wicked, but like, you're either a Taylor Swift day or you're a Wicked day. So you're hearing the entire soundtrack multiple times of either. So like
sucks.
Whatever the Taylor Swift album or albums, I don't know because I don't know shit about her, but it's one or the other. So you'll hear the entire Wicked like you're watching the movie.
Well, they had like merch and stuff for it. I think.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's been... Did you hear what happened with the merch? With the Wicked merch? So they had a toy line. I mean, I'm sure they did this on all their products, but like the toy line was notorious for it. When they first released it, whenever they made the boxes, like you're partnering with like Mattel or like whatever the actual toy company was. But on it, they would like tag the movie. So they'd be like, if you want to see more, you can visit www.wicked.com. That's a porn site.
Oh, shit.
So the actual website is www.wickedmovie or wickedthemovie.com.
Oh, God.
But whoever was doing the marketing wrap for it and the actual printout layout of the visuals.
No, I didn't hear about that at all.
Never ran through the whole thing.
And that's like a young crowd.
Yeah. So they had to recall all them toys that were already pre-made. And those are now like collector's items. So you can go on eBay or like whatever, and it's like way more expensive than it would have normally been
because for all of that.
Yeah,
that's random shit. We tried to hunt down. I don't even know if it was actually true, but the Cats the musical. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That there was one where there were like all the cats had buttholes allegedly. There's like a version of it that all of
like the
had
actual
like CGI buttholes on it, and that they removed. I don't know. Somebody told me that one time, and then we tried to hunt it down for months, and I could never find it. But if you buy any of the DVDs,
maybe. Yeah. That's wild though.
It was just a bullshit thing that I never looked into.
Are you talking about the Cats that just came out, like the live action Cats?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't live action, but kind of semi-live action.
Well, yeah, like whatever you're considering, like the new Lion King and shit.
Yeah. The one that was like 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, with like actors.
Yeah, they had like, I think Taylor Swift was in it.
And they had buttholes on them.
Like little CGI buttholes, I think. Or like early testing or something.
But why would they even need to take that away? That's an actual anatomy thing.
Because as soon as someone sees it and says something, then I'm sure it was just like a marketing thing where they're like, we got to.
But I wonder if it's like, are they doing it for kids? Because like, hey, kids have animals. They see assholes all day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they have like any conversations with their parents like that.
I don't know, man. But the faces on them are human.
Yeah,
so it's almost like
wild.
A furry situation. So I wonder if it's like Taylor Swift doesn't want like a cat butthole on
Taylor
with her
Swift's
face.
Cat asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dude,
it'd be a bit of a deal.
Oh, that's good. You could Google that now and it would probably pop up.
Oh yeah, they do some weird things with the whole like transition to like digital animation, like how they had the whole hubbub about the Sonic face being wrong. You remember that?
Like
it was like a little
movie,
too human-y or whatever, and then they were like, we needed a more... They redid the whole movie just to get the face different.
That's crazy, too.
Which the face ended up being way better, I think.
Right.
But, like, why didn't you start off with that? Why did you try to make him so human-like, but then it's still a fucking kind of cartoon kind of thing?
I don't know. For that one, I don't know. Because I was going to say somebody just made that decision, but... I mean, you have something to draw from. Like, it's already like a cartoon. It's not like it's not like a book that you're having to interpret. There's a visual representation of Sonic already. I don't know. I never saw any of those movies.
The newer ones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess the only
Dude,
ones.
I did watch the new Grinch, the non-Jim Carrey, but like the animated. I say new,
like
but
the
it was like 2018 or whatever. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It was good.
Very.
It was super good.
Like, if you like Minions or you like The Incredibles, it's right up that alley.
Oh, for sure.
It's like that perfect mix of all that, and the soundtrack's dope.
The soundtrack's awesome. We watched it when we were up in North Carolina last week. There's a big group of us.
Y'all went to a trip.
Yeah, we went up to like just outside of Blue Ridge, Georgia. My family's got a cabin up there. It's Murphy, North Carolina, or like right outside of Murphy, North Carolina, but it's that tri-state area, like Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina. We've been going up there for like since 2013. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's great. I love it up there. It's definitely interesting too because I feel like specifically people from this area have kind of, because my family originally bought it for them to retire in because it was so cheap, but now the secret is kind of out, so now it's not cheap. I mean, if you're trying to buy something now, it's like, East Hill prices, but before it was like not, I mean, sub $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it was like.
I saw some of your story and I was like, the area's crazy.
Dude, it's nuts. It's like, it's right at like 7 hours away from here, but it's that whole like LJ Blue Ridge area is where we were hanging out. And but there's so many people from here that have houses up there now.
Yeah.
Just like one of my clients and one of Sarah's clients that don't know each other both just bought houses in LJ.
Like for Airbnb purposes or
no,
like
just they like sold their house and dipped.
That's sick.
Yeah. I mean, it's really slow up there. I wouldn't be able to do that now, but hopefully eventually that would be something that I could do. Because I like Pensacola. I like the size of Pensacola, but a little bit smaller, I think, long term. It's nice to slow down.
Yeah, for sure. I've always, like, anytime I've gone on vacation or anytime I'm like, I want to go away for a weekend, it's always Tennessee or Kentucky.
Yeah.
And obviously Tennessee is a little closer, so it's like that Chattanooga, like, top of Georgia, Lookout Mountain area-esque. So you have a lot to do hiking-wise because hiking's gorgeous up there. And you have a lot of, like, water. Yeah. Like if you're going, like, summertime.
Oh, 100%.
It's, like, perfect.
Well, that was what was funny is, like, talking to, like, Sarah was like, I don't really like the outdoors, but she didn't ever visit any of those places. And so when we started going there and there wasn't, like, spiders and bugs and like it wasn't like hot, humid, nasty, and flat, and there's actually stuff, she's like, oh shit, I kind of do like this. I mean, she's not like, she's still an indoor cat for the most part, but it's she actually enjoys going out there from time to time, which that's my entire childhood. That was what we did. We would just go camp. So you're
very much an outdoor person. Like you're always posting like you catching fish on a fucking kayak or like doing things like that. Yeah.
I like it. I like doing a lot of that stuff kind of like alone because it helps me that's kind of like my quiet time. Yeah. But I enjoy being outside. I can't camp anymore. That's for sure.
Why is that?
Dude, I fucking hate it. I don't sleep well. I've never had, like, I've had some like expensive camping equipment, but like I feel my hip feels the ground through a ground pad. I don't sleep well. I don't ever feel safe, which I've never felt unsafe, but I've never felt safe with just like a tent around me. But I did it for a long time. I mean, not like all the time, but we would go on trips and stuff and camp, especially in my childhood. I can't do it anymore, dude. I like the AC. I like a comfortable bed. I'll go out before the sun comes up.
You're like glamping more than you're like camping.
Dude, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
I'm the same way, but like the reason why I can't camp is not that. It's like I'm scared of the people.
Yeah, man.
I'm nervous.
Oh, yeah. Didn't y'all have like a camping thing? Like you were going to have to camp alone at one point?
The bet was like whoever lost the most amount of money, lost the most amount of money, the most amount of weight.
Right.
If I lost, I had to
go
camp by myself.
Yeah.
And if he lost, he would have had to do
like a marathon,
a half marathon with me. But he did lose, and nothing happened. So like, I got their shit in it. I mean, I lost the most amount of weight, so I guess I won there. But like, when I am camping, I'm not at all thinking about like bears or snakes or anything like wolves. I'm thinking like
people.
There's people out here that are insane.
Oh, 100%. And
if they're woods people,
bad.
They're
especially
unhinged.
The woods people around here.
I've seen movies.
Yeah.
You know?
I had a couple, like one that I won't like super get into, pretty scary moment out in Blackwater River with some buddies that involved like other people coming up on us and stuff. And that was one of the very few times, I say one of the very few times, there was one of two times where I've been like, am I going to have to shoot this dude?
Yeah.
Because it was crazy. Like it was me and my buddy. It was me, my buddy Taylor, and my buddy Eddie. And it was funny because it was Eddie's like second time ever camping. And that was a fear that he had. And then all of a sudden it's like come to reality. There's a bunch of rednecks out there just like throwing rocks at us. But it got way more egregious than that. It was definitely like oh shit, this is going to be like because you don't have cell phone service.
Yeah,
You know, we were like a couple miles into the woods.
Classic horror movie
Oh,
tropes.
for sure. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for
wrong
sure.
turn-esque vibes. You're like, I didn't make a wrong turn. I don't know the layout like they know.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're, here's some scary things to think about.
Oh, good.
It's at night. You have
Yeah.
a fire. You're near the fire. You can see everything near you.
Absolutely.
But if anything's way further away from you, looking at you at the fire, it can see everything.
Oh, absolutely.
So it has a way better point of view. And then if it is out there, it probably knows the land. And I say it because I don't know what the fuck it is.
Right.
It's something. It's a person.
You're in encrypted territory now. Is that the?
Oh no, I'm literally not talking about like creatures. I'm talking about people. Like these hills have eyes people. Like these things that like have been out there for generations, and they're like, I'm gonna make a baby in that thing. And I'm like, whoa, dude, I don't even make babies in this thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know how often you've ever been like, because man, I'm just thinking about like fish camps that I've launched at, like up deep in the river systems. And at a fish camp, like people live there, and dude, not even the ones like super deep. Like you can go launch under, oh man, the bridge going into Pace,
okay,
like in Escambia River.
yeah, like the flats.
Yeah.
Okay,
dude, you can, the people that live at those fish camps,
yeah,
critters. I mean,
bet.
it's wild. It's wild. I was the funniest moment I've had alone fishing. Hills Have Eyes, like. For sure thought I was going to die for a second, even though that wasn't happening. There's, like all those boats that are sunken. Like you can see them.
Yeah, the half tilted over boat.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I launched.
I love that boat. It looks dope.
Well, if you go to that marina that's like right underneath it, that fish camp.
Yeah.
Not on the north side of it, but on the south side of it, the one that's under construction right now. Dude, those boats are all like, there's some that are up at the marina, but they're like sunk and they're like sitting halfway. I got, and launched it like just before daybreak. And there was a group of dudes that I'm assuming it was still the night before for them because they were drinking like under this pergola and it was like 4:30 in the morning. And there were some people living under the bridge that were running a generator over there. And then, so I went and launched. I was already a little sketched out because I'm like by myself. And then I'm heading down this little slough.
You're in a kayak or a boat?
In a kayak. And then I'm heading down this slough, and I'm looking at all these boats that are like crooked.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear to God, I'm looking at one that's like borderline sideways in the water. The sun is not up yet, and there's a face looking back at me through one of the windows. Like I'm staring at this boat because I was kind of fishing in between them to see if there was anything just hanging out. And then like I'm like staring at this boat, and then I slowly realized there's somebody living in that boat, dude, and he's looking directly at me. My heart stopped immediately. Bro. I mean, I was in no actual danger.
How far are you away from this?
Oh, dude, there. I mean,
holy shit.
Yeah, like the door. And so I'm just staring at this boat like, damn, this thing's like, I'm surprised it hasn't gone under. And then all of a sudden I see eyes, and I was like, what the fuck? And then it was a person.
And he's just like, it's actually a pretty nice place to live.
Yeah, he's like, actually, dude, I've got it leveled off in here.
We're written out part of this if you want to check it out. Yeah.
It was, I mean, I was in no danger, but it was one of those like moments where my stomach dropped immediately, and I was like,
the thing, it's
just waiting for a bow to go off or something. It's like,
it's the unknown of like, you don't know what they think you're trying to do.
Oh, for sure.
And like, for real, you could be doing anything. You might be trying to loot that thing. And like, they're like, oh, this dude's coming out here trying to fuck with my stuff, because people are always trying to fuck with people, but that's like nightmare material.
Oh, it was.
Like seeing a face when you're looking at something and you're like not even sure what you're seeing, and then all of a sudden everything clears up.
Oh,
and you're
focused.
Like,
yeah, 100%. And that was my biggest, like that movie Smile that's out right now.
Oh yeah.
My biggest fear in life, which I probably shouldn't just say out loud, but my biggest fear in life is to look out a window and see someone smiling back at me. That's my biggest fear. It's completely irrational. I think I saw it on a horror movie when I was a kid, but that was the closest to that. And that guy wasn't smiling. Yeah. He was just kind of staring at me. But that was the closest I've ever had to like my real life. And then later that same day, I bumped into an alligator that was the size of my kayak. and freaked out. So I was like, I'm going home, bro. This is terrible. This is a terrible experience.
That'd be enough for me to never go back to that area. Like, not at least during that kind of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I think, like, perceived danger versus real danger. Like, the perceived danger of it was a lot higher than I actually was. Like, I scared that alligator, and it scared me back. You know what I mean? So, and, like, that dude was probably just like, why is this guy right up next to my boat staring at it? So, I was fine, but it's kind of that moment where you, like, turn the lights off and run down a hallway. It's like, you're fine. You live in this house, and you know that's not going to randomly be infested with demons, but that might be the night. You know? You're like, oh, shit. Is this the night?
That feeling of like, oh, something almost got me.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah. Like going down into a basement or something, and you're like, I know there's nothing down here. But
it's kind of like that feeling when you're by yourself and like you're sitting and your clothes adjust. Like, say there's like a crease and then the crease lets go or something, and it touches you weird, and you're like, yo, what the fuck?
Oh,
and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you're like, that couldn't have happened.
Yep.
There's no way.
Oh, absolutely.
I was by myself at work this morning, and like my pants had a crease, I guess, and it like let go and it touched my leg, and I was like, I looked down because we have like a shop cat, so I thought it was him, and
he was. You have one? Oh, you're at that. Yeah. Gotcha.
And there, I was like, I didn't see him anywhere. I was like, what the fuck? It was just my pants adjusting, like letting off of my leg a little bit and touching me, and I was like, it didn't scare me, but I can see how that type of situation can happen sometimes. You're like, whoa.
Oh, for sure. Especially if it's like a quiet scenario. Like when I ran into that gator, I was like, I'd been fishing for like 3 hours. I haven't spoken to anybody since I woke up. And I was like fishing this grass line, and I was fishing the left-hand side of it, and I didn't realize I was like drifting to the right-hand side. And so I like bumped it, and then it was like an explosion went off. And I turned, like I looked over because I was like, ah! And then it was running away from me, but in my mind it was like circling back to kill me. So I was like, going home. We're calling it, dude.
Dude, there was in 2020, I took like this job opportunity where I would do commission sales, and it's like over the phone you're selling this OSHA certification like training course. So if you don't sell anything, you're not making anything. There's no like base pay. You're only doing commission. And I'm at work, and I've never had that kind of free time. And that's kind of like when I discovered YouTube a little bit. And like when I had the time beforehand and very late at night, because you don't have to get up at any certain time, I would get lost in these like ghost videos. There's this YouTube video guy that's called Nuke's Top 5. And it's like the creepiest voice, and he has the crackling effect going on in the background.
Yeah.
And it shows you ghost videos or like alleged ghost videos throughout the internet. And he's like, he never makes it seem more than it is. He just shows you the thing, and then he's like, was this like extraterrestrial or like of another thing, or was it just a bump in the night or something like that? And I watched, I mean, he's probably now got to have like 350 videos, and they're all like 10 to 15 minutes long.
Jesus.
And I had to watch, at that time, all of them. It had to be like 300 at the time. I'm on the phone trying to make this call, and like I'm like a very, I don't know, frugal person. So I like try to not spend a lot of money. So when I'm at home, I have every light in the house off, like very little going on. And it's midday. And the apartment complex we were in had pretty good lighting, so I didn't have to have any power on except for like the TV or something. And at the time, I had nothing on in the house. And I'm on the phone, and I was leaving the bathroom, and the way my bathroom was set up is every bathroom. There's a toilet, there's a mirror. But right outside is the hallway, and there's a stand-up mirror, like across from the doorway. So it's like as soon as you turn, you see you. Well, I'm on the phone, and I forget it's there. And I'm turning. I'm in the middle of making a sale, and I see me thinking someone got in the house. And I scare the shit out of myself. I'm like, and they were like, everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, what's going on? Did you hear something?
I try to play it off.
I made it like it was on their end.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I thought that was you breaking up. Like, it scared the shit out of me, and I was like, I gotta stop watching these videos.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it messed with me.
You can throw yourself into a panic watching that kind of stuff, man.
I would be thinking I'm hearing shit at night when I'm sleeping. I'm like, is the fan what's going on? Is there something on the fan?
We have like a motion light right outside of our bedroom.
Oh, dude.
And every time, and there's cats.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so, dude, it's funny because I'll like the light will go off, And I'm like, I'm not going to check that. And then the dog will start like low growling, and I'm like, all right, I got to, and I'll pull it up. And like, there's been a couple times recently where I'll pull up my Ring doorbell camera, and it'll say, there is a person at your front door, and it's just a cat sitting there. Like,
there's a poor person?
There's a cat.
Yeah, but what does it say?
A porch. There's a person
porch.
A poor person.
I thought you said, how did your thing know they're poor?
No, it's just, there is a person at your front door. I might have fucked up and tried to say on your porch at the same time.
Yeah,
That's probably what I did. But, yeah, man, it just makes me laugh every time because I'm like freaking out and I'm like, all right, it's just, dude, I did have, when we were up in North Carolina, so there's like a trash service that's new to the area, like to the cabin, that goes down up the hill, and just talking about like somebody being in your peripheral and kind of scaring the shit out of you, dude. So I've been doing, and I'm not going to do it, but I've been doing like this very bad RFK impression, like with the voice, and just yelling about like seed oils and vaccines and shit. And my buddy just had a son, and so I was like yelling, doing a voice memo, just yelling about like, don't give him the vaccines, blah blah blah, and just talking shit. But I kept like yelling it, and then I would listen back and be like, nah, and delete it, do another one. Dude, I'm in my underwear, nothing else. And I forgot, because we've been going up there forever, so like 11 years now, and there's never been anybody up there. And I was sitting there like yelling about seed oils into my phone, and I looked over, and I'm in underwear, back up against a fire. Sarah's like cooking, and there's just some dude on the front porch. And we're in the woods, man. What? So I'm like yelling about like, oh, no, I'll give him seed oils or whatever. And then I was like, who are you? And then the guy was like, I'm here to pick up the trash. And then the dog started barking and ran at him. And I was like, oh, shit. But as scary as it was for me, it had to be way scarier for that dude.
Yeah, he's going to be like, I got to interrupt this guy real quick.
I got to walk up on this guy.
Hey, just one sec. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm here to get the trash. I don't know what you're doing.
You're like, it's my trash. Get out of here.
I laughed so hard after he left. I was like, damn. I think the funnier thing is I just kind of forgot I was in my underwear. So then we had another bag inside, and I was like, oh, shit, let me go get this other. And so I'm just like carrying out trash for him to take in my underwear. I'm like, all right, brother, see you later.
He's got to think, dude, I hope this guy ain't grabbing a gun.
Oh,
like, this dude's going inside getting some crazy shit.
Oh, probably. But as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot that this is a thing.
You should have been like, dude, you know anything about these seed oils?
Yeah, you got anything to say about this?
Yeah, you got 15 minutes? Let me talk to you real quick. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's some strange people out there. That's a whole deal with the camping thing. Like, it's never been about animals. It's been about the people, and I've seen too many like crime things and like just the hypothetical movie situations where like you're gone down the wrong place. Or,
absolutely.
Like, oh my god, just like the inbred families that live in hills and shit. That's the thing. It's like you might just all of a sudden now be a part of that family line.
The roving serial killer stuff is what gets me. Like because
it's not. I guess.
Have you ever watched, or listened to rather, like Park Predators? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh my god, you're just scaring me now. No,
that's
scary.
There's
the
a
title alone is too
podcast
much.
called Park Predators. That's like it's a true crime podcast, but they have each episode is obviously about like in a national park or national forest, like a random killer. The crazy one was like there was a dude. I would fuck up the actual timeline, but I was like, it was too close to home, dude. Like they were saying like, because that cabin, like I said, is in Murphy, and so there's like Ducktown, Tennessee is right next to it, and there's like the Nantahala forest and like a couple different things. And it was like this dude like killed somebody over in like Nantahala, went to Ducktown, which is like, Ducktown is the equivalent of like, dude, it's smaller than Century.
Oh wow,
it's tiny. It's tiny. So the fact that dude was like literally 10 minutes down the road and then came down and got caught in like Destin or something like that. But I was like, this guy was way too close. Was in my like general stratosphere. You were there? I think that when I was listening to it and he was saying the dates, I don't think I was actually up there, but just the fact that it was like he drove. There's one road that takes you from Nantahala to Ducktown, and the cabin's on that road. So it's like he definitely even if I wasn't there, dude,
Yeah.
he had to pass. We've driven the same road. And it was just weird knowing that. Because it was like, I think 2014, 2015.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. Like, some of the things, the situations like that. Like, Ted Bundy was caught here.
Yeah.
In Pensacola. Mm-hmm. Shit like that, you're like, wow. Like, you just think, like, some of these things are, like, bigger than, oh, crime will never happen like that. Like, a serial killer would never be in Pensacola.
Sure.
You just, because it can't happen to you. But,
Right.
like, what?
Dude, and not to, like, harsh it too bad, but that was the same thing with, like, the NAS shooting.
NAS?
Yeah, the Navy base.
Yeah, sorry. The way you said that, I was like, is that, like, I was thinking the NSA. And I was like,
no.
Was there, what?
No, but just, like, the fact that, I mean, we forget there was, like,
crazy.
a mass shooting in Pensacola, too.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I remember right around that time, too, there was a shooting right before that happened somewhere here. Like, I think it was like a church or something. And then I think the NAS thing, they didn't catch the guy right away. So he was, like, kind of loose.
Was he?
Or at least that was because, look, I worked at the Target right in front of NAS entrance, like the Blue Angel Target at the time. And we were there, and they were like, hey, just a heads up, everybody, we're hearing that there's, like, been a shooting active right now.
Right.
And they didn't lock the store down or anything, but they were like, potentially we're about to close the store with everybody in it just to be safe. And I was thinking, like, imagine being a customer and being like, I'm stuck in the Target now, like, locked doors. I can't leave, go check on my kids or...
Right.
I mean, the whole situation was weird. But, yeah.
Dude, speaking of weird situation, and I guess current topic, the United Healthcare CEO thing.
I guess he just got caught or something.
Yeah, man. But, like...
How is he alive, though?
I did not look super, super far into it.
Me
I'm
either.
also not a huge conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination, but this dude allegedly got caught in a McDonald's 300 miles from New York that the employees recognized him from that, like, over the counter smiling picture or whatever. He had the gun on him and then had, like, a manifesto on him. So he got rid of, like, the backpack and his clothes and all that shit, but kept, like, the murder weapon and, like, the I did it note, allegedly.
What?
Which is crazy.
I didn't see that whole part of it. I just saw, like, I didn't know anything had happened. You know, you're scrolling on Instagram, and then all of a sudden you see somebody get murdered, and you're like, okay, that's about average for Instagram now.
Dude.
But then I didn't realize it was, like, something bigger than that. And then I saw, like, a blurred version of it, and I was like, I just saw this video. Why is this so big? And it was like, I read the details of the thing, and, like, you said you're not a conspiracy theorist. What do you mean in reference to that?
Like, I don't automatically...
I think he targeted that guy on purpose,
for sure. My mind immediately goes to, which this make me sound crazy, is that's not the dude that did it. Like, in my head...
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because in my head, dude, like, I don't know. I think the thing for me is if you're going to go through all of the effort of, like, one, how did this random McDonald's employee recognize this dude? How did it happen? I mean, because the guy was like...
the story they're giving us of how they caught him.
Fair.
They might have just been tracking his phone, like, breaking, like, really bad laws.
Fair.
Found him, and they were like, yo, you found him. And the McDonald's guy was like, yeah, that's
sure.
sick.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, no, not really.
That very much that could have happened. Now that you say that, but the way that it happened, the way that they're saying it happened, I'm like, no fucking way, dude. Like, this guy just happened to go into McDonald's with, like, a gun and
also, how would you be there long enough that they would be able to get to you? Like, if you're that level of a criminal, I'm assuming you're in and out of McDonald's. You're pre-ordering.
You going through the drive-thru, right? I mean, you just killed somebody.
In my mind, you're having friends with you if you're going to go get food, and they're going to go inside and grab the food. You're never leaving the car.
Right. If you're running from, like, if you're one of the most wanted men in America, I'm taking the gun apart and throwing it into pieces while I'm driving down the road.
Yeah, every 100 miles you're dropping a piece.
Absolutely. Into bodies of water. Different bodies of water.
Done.
Yeah, no way. I'm going to pee on the side of the road, going in the woods.
Yeah.
I'm not going to carry it in with the suppressor into a McDonald's.
Also, who's writing notes anymore?
You got to. Yeah, it was just like a note on his phone.
He's like,
we
definitely
found
not
his
his suicide note
manifesto
or whatever.
Yeah. We found his manifesto on his iPhone.
Also, Buddy kind of looks like Dave Franco.
He does kind of.
He's got a set of eyebrows on him.
He does. I also think it's funny whenever people like that commit like crimes, like back to the Ted Bundy thing, back to that, like, but they're like semi-attractive.
Oh yeah,
dude, people love it.
I'm not, in my mind, and this is maybe just coming from like a self-deprecating like point of view. I'm like, if you're that attractive, well, you're wasting it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Coming from an ugly boy stance, I'm like, brother, boy. You got the setup already. What?
Yeah.
What? And I assume the ulterior motives there are probably like the healthcare system fucked him over. I think I heard something about that. So it's like, I get the idea of like, you're tired of the man pushing you around. I don't know if that's exactly how you get back at it, unless that dude personally had something against him personally.
Right.
I don't know.
I say I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but then my brain, as soon as he got caught, was like, so right before that, I think it was, I might be messing the timeline up, but right before that, I think Blue Cross Blue Shield said that, like, they announced that they were going to cut.
I thought it's United.
Right. But this is a different company. Okay. Blue Cross Blue Shield announced that they were going to, like, stop paying for like anesthesia after a certain period of time during an operation. Like they just wouldn't cover it.
That's scary.
A day or two later, maybe same day, maybe next day, whatever. Within a very short period of time, United Healthcare CEO gets gunned down. Blue Cross Blue Shield withdraws that. So they're like, never mind, we're not going to do that.
Wow.
And then I think I read something about they like deleted their About Us page so you can't see who like their board members are and stuff. So my brain immediately went to, I was like, that dude's a patsy, the one that they arrested, because they're never going to let the like actual guy get away with it.
Patsy just means like a fall guy?
Yeah. Okay. Just like a scapegoat that they're like, okay, this is the sacrificial lamb, because in a sense it worked. Like you don't want anybody to die, dude. Like I don't care what your job is. But
why would it not be the real guy? Like why?
It could be.
Well, let's go with that conspiracy theory. If it wasn't the real guy, why? Like, why would they be protecting, or somebody be protecting the real guy, and then say this is the fall guy? Or you're saying like the guy that did it was so good that he pinned someone else?
I'm saying more of that. The guy that did it, it's funny, man, because I was like, I'm not that big of a conspiracy theorist, and I'm like, the guy that, but I've actually thought about this. This one in particular, for some reason, has gotten me. But no, I'm like, if the guy that did it actually got away, they can't figure it out, then I'm sure it's not that far of a stretch for them to be like, fuck it, let's just grab a dude, like. Just so that
imagine being at McDonald's and then getting framed for this.
For that,
you're like, hey, can I get a double McGriddle or whatever? And I'll just be like, excuse me, what's going on? No, not me. I'm not.
Yeah, not me, dude.
No. They're like, you look like the guy, and you're like, oh fuck. You're not getting out of that.
No, like, definitely not.
Because imagine the government like falsely claiming you're somebody that you're not. Mm-hmm. They're never gonna let that go.
They're never gonna let it go. No, absolutely. You're not getting out of that.
Get in jail.
Yeah,
somebody's gonna get you.
I wonder what's gonna end up happening with all that. I don't know. I think conspiracy theories are fun. Yeah. But that one, for some reason, is one that I'm just like wholeheartedly believing in, even though as I say it out loud and I realize other people are going to hear what I said out loud, I was like, fuck, yeah, there's some holes in that there's some holes in that for me.
What are some other ones that might be fun?
That are fun?
That you have, that you're like, I actually believe this, or like, you tumble around with.
Of course you would ask me, and it's like I've never heard of one in my entire life now, as soon as I'm trying to think of one. I mean, not fun. I don't want to use the word fun and like 9/11 in the same sentence,
wow.
But it's like to think about that kind of thing where it's like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think it's like that far of a stretch based on other things that the U.S. have done, as far as like, dude, I'm about to use the term false flags, but like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That we would. I'm trying to think of some other conspiracy theories, but I can't think of anything.
Are you saying the 9/11 thing because they lost a bunch of money and then all of a sudden the towers go down? That thing?
Yeah, like that. There's always weird.
too convenient.
Yeah,
We
there's
lost,
always
like,
weird
trillions
stuff
of
that
dollars,
happens.
and then all of a sudden, I'm not saying like people outside of America don't want America to go down,
Sure,
because they do.
100%. Oh, absolutely.
But it is very convenient that I'm not saying it happened because we lost the money or whatever. All of a sudden, all that money's gone. I'm thinking that money was already going to be gone. Like, they already knew they fucked up really bad. And then this happened, and then they're like, well, let's just say all the money or all the information for that money is burned up. And now we have no way to track it.
Yeah, now it's
I
Fight
think
Club.
that was a convenient way to sweep it under.
Sure.
And I haven't dived really deep into it, but that is how they did that. Like, that is not a conspiracy theory. That is, they've explained, like, yeah, we have no way of tracking it. Like, we lost everything in the Pentagon fire, I do believe, is where...
Was it the Pentagon fire?
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
forget
the towers,
that, like, the
but
towers was, like, a trade center. Like, it was a financial institution, right? Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's also crazy that can have such an impact. Just two buildings in general going down can have such a huge impact on, like, community, economy.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you just attack... imagine just going to North Carolina and taking a cabin out. North Carolina is going to be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
But you take two buildings down in New York, and, like, all of America was crippled for a little bit.
Dude, well, but that was also... I mean, how many people died? A lot.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like, an insane amount of
I'm
people
pretty sure it was
died.
thousands, wasn't it? Or am I being crazy when I say
I don't
thousands?
think so. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm going to Google that while we're talking.
Yeah.
Because that seems like... I feel like that's a lot.
Dude, that was... I tried to... Every once in a while, I'll try to, like... I'll think of a number, and I try to like, put it into... How many people was it?
Oh, my God, that's more than I thought. 2,977
Dude, that's
people.
crazy. That's crazy.
That's including the Twin Towers, the Pentagon. It says... Terrorist attack killed that many people and injured thousands at the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. So I guess that's where the third, like,
plane
there was
went
another
down.
plane went down.
Yeah, and they're
Not
talking
the
about
third,
the people
but like
on
the fourth or whatever.
Right. The people that were on the plane.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, that was like every once in a while I'll try to conceptualize like what that group of people looks like. Not like 9/11 specifically, but like I was specifically also fun topic, the Holocaust. But looking at the Holocaust, and there's like, I'm not going to do the math out loud because I'm going to sound stupid, but I think there was like 6 million, right?
Yes.
There's like 328,000 people in Escambia County. So I'm not going to do that math, but that's multiple times over everybody that lives in Escambia County dying.
Yeah, it's like 18 to 20 times the amount of people.
That sucks. That's crazy. Thinking about just the amount of people that is insane.
To give this reference, basically it'd be like if you destroyed an ant pile and let it come back 19 times and kept doing that.
Yeah.
And then at the final, you're like, all right, you got it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's what, with those types of things that happen, man, it's like, and the same thing like in war and stuff. And when you hear about the like people dying and then you actually think about how many people it is, it's when you start putting it into like, dude, I went to Beyonce a couple years ago and there was 80,000 people in the arena, and that's not even like a fraction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's so if all 80,000 people got vaporized.
I mean, look at a fucking college football game. That's 100,000 people.
Yeah.
At an average stadium, it's anywhere between 80 to, I think the most is like 110, maybe 120. 100,000 people. That's like...
How many is a million? 10 100,000s? Or is it 100 100,000s?
It's 10. That's crazy you said that out loud.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't fucking know.
That's crazy.
I cut hair for a living, bro. I don't have to do math.
100 100,000s? That's crazy.
What is that?
10 million.
That's 10 million. Okay,
yes,
word.
because 10 would be... We just went over this.
Listen, I'm not doing this, all right? Whatever this is, I ain't doing this right
brother,
now.
You're in bad shape if I'm teaching you math.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to make you read out of a book or something out loud. I don't want to deal with this.
Dude, just to give you a reference. No. I don't know. Just to give you something is when I was talking about fun conspiracy theories, I was talking like how come like really expensive body wash doesn't lather as good as
Oh,
like
and I brought
really
up
cheap
9/11 and the
shampoo.
Holocaust. Yeah, fuck that
Yeah,
one
so
up
like
a
you
little
went
bit.
a
My
way
bad.
different way than I was expecting. I thought you were gonna be like, isn't it weird like how contacts just can't be permanent? Like something like that.
I wouldn't have said that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. See, we have
You're
different.
just talking about surgery at that point.
Yeah. Here's another one. I just recently heard this, and apparently this has been a theory for a long time. I don't know if he's from the 70s or 1700s. It's something with a 7.
Okay.
Okay. This dude theorized that the Big Bang isn't what created everything.
Uh-huh.
It was the end of something else that happened. It imploded, and then all of a sudden, it was like the end of a universe, and then another. Like we're gonna be on this infinite cycle of that happening.
Just death and rebirth.
Yeah, every however
Yeah.
long. That's how all this happened. Another thing about space, like because YouTube just knows how to fuck with you. Okay,
Oh,
so
for
like
sure.
my YouTube it acts different at night. It gets to like 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and YouTube is like, "Hey,
Starts
what
getting the
about
weird
space,
stuff.
dude?"
Yeah.
And like, I'm way more into the idea, and I don't know, avid listeners will understand that me and Hilton have a thing about space versus the ocean,
Okay.
and how I think the ocean is way scarier than space,
Okay.
because you can literally go die in the ocean right now. Like today, we can make that happen.
So the threat of the ocean is
It's more realistic.
more realistic than the threat
Because
of space.
and I'll just give you my little argument really quick, and then I'll go on to the thing. But literally, you and everyone you ever fucking know could put all their money together. You'll never die in space. You can't afford to go die in space. You won't be able to go. You cannot. I don't care how many. I don't care if you know Donald Trump. You're not going to be able to afford to go to space to die. For free, me and you can leave this podcast. When we're done, we'll finish the recording. I'll edit it. It'll come out.
And we just drive
You
my
can
truck
die
off a 3-mile
tonight
bridge.
in the ocean.
Yeah, for sure.
And like not even try that hard to die.
Yeah.
Like you can just die. And that's just talking about we're just easing you into how scary the ocean is. There's other shit that's actually in there. Anyways, about space, the thing that my YouTube wants to tell me is like the universe is ever expanding. Mm-hmm. My thing is like we sent this little satellite out there in 1970, and it has like a golden disc of the Earth. So it's like, I think it's 100 or 1,000 images of like what life is like on Earth.
Okay.
From the perspective of 1970. So it has a sound, it has images on the actual disc. Like from the outside, you can look at the disc and you see things like a map of the Earth, I think. And then if you can figure out how to play it, you'll get to see these images and sounds and stuff. So that's floating out. And for whatever reason, it's still being able to give us information. So we're learning like things that like you can't even fathom. Like I don't even understand how it can do this. A few like facets of this argument. One, it's from 1970. It's still going, so that's roughly 50 something years. Mm-hmm. Okay, how is it still in one piece and not destroyed to fucking shit from like space shit, like hitting it, or there's like, yes, space isn't necessarily moving or whatever, but there's shit out there. Like, how is it not just fucked it up?
Wouldn't it be the same as like in the ocean? There's not stuff in like every part of the water column of the ocean. If you're just out in space,
but if you send something, the difference here is like if you can send something infinitely in one direction in space, you can't do that in the ocean because one, pressure, waves, movement, all sorts of shit. But apparently in space, like if you're not tethered to a thing and you let go, you'll forever go.
Right, but
you can't just.
But isn't most of
back.
like the asteroids and stuff like that, like not all of them obviously, but isn't a lot of it like they're stuck in the gravitational pull of the planets and stars and stuff around it?
I think you're about to feed into one of my points, but go.
Like how has it not gotten stuck in one of those? Is that what you're?
How isn't multiple things to that? How hasn't it been pulled by another gravitational force into something?
That's what I was just thinking.
How hasn't it just been like? Because I assume that over time, like,
what's this?
That's like the asteroid belts and shit that is going around like gravitational pull type thing. Because like here's another thing, and I'm gonna get off that unfortunately, but we can go right back to it. Over time, they hypotheticalize that the moon will turn into an asteroid belt around us. We're talking billions of years or whatever. Like that's gonna happen to us. So Like, how is this thing from 1970
still fine
in one piece?
I don't know, man. The space stuff gets me.
It gets me too, because it's like, in my mind, I'm thinking like a 1970 Chevelle. Hard as fuck. It's built to last. You still see them on the road to this day.
Sure.
Because people take care of them. They can last. You get a 2015 Toyota Corolla. You're not going to see that shit in 50 years.
No.
There's no way. So I'm thinking like in 1970, maybe they built that motherfucker like a 1970 Chevelle. It is built to last.
Oh yeah. Well, if they built it to withstand like the pressure of outer space, I can only imagine they did.
Yeah.
They just over-engineered the hell
You're talking
out of
about
it.
the pressure, the temperatures,
Right.
the potential speeds of things around it, but it's continuing to go in its thing.
Well,
Also,
does the temperature change? Probably not.
space is crazy cold.
Right. But I'm
just for it
saying
to
it's
be able to
static. It
withhold
doesn't
that,
like fluctuate.
depending on gravitational and shit you're around, you're getting further and further away from the sun.
Yeah.
So you got to be getting colder, I would assume.
Fair.
Also, maybe you get to the dark side of something. Like, you're going straight, but like maybe something goes in the way of the sun. Like, you've already passed the point, and now your shit just got way colder.
Fair.
You're thinking of things like this. And my point about the whole 1970 thing is, one of the discoveries we're figuring out is, like, the universe is ever expanding. I'm sorry. Did we get to the edge of the universe and see it, like, moving forward? How do we know that?
So that's the thing, because it's all math. They use math to, and I'm not a math guy, as we found out.
I mean,
but
pretty good.
It was, yeah, but it was, I think it's all theoretical math based on like, oh, dude, I'm saying a bunch of shit. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
It's got to be based off of the past. Like, we've seen how things move.
Right.
So we got to be able to multiply that and be like, well, if this is this will move forever like this.
Well, and I can imagine, because we've been studying for long enough now, like, as things move, like, we've been able to have telescopes and like metrics of looking at points in the sky and watching how it expands. So I can imagine that, and then like probably the way, like, because it's the same thing, the reason that we know like how long it takes for like sunlight to hit the earth, where they're looking at like different like radiation points.
Yeah, like light years or...
Yeah. So I'm assuming it's that, but how it's intact, I have no clue, because that's pretty crazy.
Another point of like contention there is like, if you aim, like, I've never shot a gun, so I've shot a gun, but I've never had to look through like the scope or whatever. So telescope, there we go, made a connection there. That's crazy. But like like if I'm aiming and I'm looking through not a telescope, the scope. Now, say I'm looking at trees and a deer goes by, and I'm trying to shoot the deer.
Sure.
And I'm following him. Say he runs behind a tree. I can't see him because there's a tree in the way, but I know he's right behind it. Hey, the universe is ever expanding. If we're aiming a fucking telescope in one area and we're trying to see the edge of the universe, or however far a fucking telescope can go, how do we see anything? Because there's so many shits out there.
Right.
Wouldn't there be too many things? If the universe is literally too big to even fathom with the brain, other than like the scales that you see that it shows, like, wouldn't there be so many things? And I don't know how to contextualize this to where you can like imagine this in your brain if you're not already imagining it.
Like, you're saying that like there would be at different depths, there would be like,
there's
just
like
a sea
literally
of
billions
stuff.
and trillions
So
of
how
things.
could you see? I think the edge of the universe thing, and that is like theoretical. It's completely theoretical. Like, there's no way that they can prove it. And I could be totally wrong on that, but without looking into it, I think it's probably just, it's math. I mean, it's like, I think like same thing with like quantum physics and stuff. Are you looking up?
I'm about to put you on game with this dude. His name's Astro Kid, and he does these super good breakdowns. Like, he's not just some weird dude. Like, he's... What the hell? Oh, no. He does these, like, really great breakdowns.
Oh, is that it right there?
I don't think so. That's only 665.
It might be a pretty niche thing, my boy.
That's
that
this
dude.
has got to be him. Oh, my God. That looks so kiddie, though.
Well, it's in the name.
Yeah, but it's not like that. I'm pretty sure it's Astro Kid. I have it on... Let me go to my personal. But this dude does these unbelievable breakdowns where it's like crazy.
Your feed was crazy right there.
What are you talking about?
Dude, there was like Quavo and then like Ronnie Coleman and I'm talking about at the homepage, brother. Yeah.
Gillian Wallow.
Sam Sulik. Okay, I see Michael Jordan.
Nonstop. Quavo. Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
College football.
Maddie Madsen. Yeah, man. This is a...
Dude, hey, bro.
MMA. There
Get
you go.
like me, dude.
I was going to say.
I'm fun. That's what this is.
You're a melting pot.
Yeah.
Ryan Trahan, huh?
Scary CTE knockouts. It's...
BMX. Papa Meat, huh? What's going on there?
He's actually a really sick YouTuber. But Astro Kobe, maybe? I don't think.
Liver enzyme.
I don't think it's Astro Kobe, but I'll look on that. Oh, it is. Astro Kobe.
Kobe? Okay.
This dude has these, like, unbelievable breakdowns where he's, like, 15 minutes of actual unbelievable space facts. That sounds really stupid.
No.
But what is outside the universe?
Okay.
You'll get lost on these, like, 16-minute videos. Or, like, even if it's just talking about Earth. Like, apparently the Sahara used to be a thriving forest.
Dude, did you...
Every 500,000 years or something, the polars...
shifts.
Yeah, they shift. And apparently we're 250,000 years past due or something like that. It's like we're fucked.
And they're just carbon dating that to figure that out. Well, dude, that's like with that kind of thing. Like, I think talking about the Sahara. Have you ever watched that? I can't remember what the name of it is on Netflix, but it's the one... I think it's just called like Earth or something.
Yes.
That has Will Smith in it that does the
I
narration.
never watched those,
about?
but it's like a documentary about Earth.
Yeah, dude. There's episode 1, they're in the Amazon rainforest, and he's talking about how like the dust from the Sahara Desert like gets into the atmosphere and is what seeds the clouds to like. And I'm pretty sure there's something about like microbes in Antarctica that cause this combination causes rain over the Amazon rainforest. That's insane, dude.
Dude, there's so many insane things. Like, the thing he's about to talk about is eventually all the land in the world will come back to one piece again.
Oh, Pangea.
Yeah, it'll be, I think it's called Pangea 2.0 or something. But like that will forever do that cycle of like connecting and then disassembling and connecting again.
What is this guy's background?
I don't know. I think he like might have went to school for like astrophysics.
I would hope so.
But what he's saying, dude, we're just gonna talk about this fucking video. I need to stop, but it's really good. Look up.
Well, send it to me. Send me it later,
this
and
video
I'll watch it.
Specifically, everybody should watch. It's Astro Kobe
events you will
15
miss.
Insane events you will miss. He talks about like if the world history was on a calendar, like day wise, like we're December 25th, like 5 p.m. or something. Like
damn.
Or that's when like the Earth as you know it like started. And we're like the last fucking hour of the day or something like that. Of the last day of the year. I don't know. But crazy shit. That's the type of conspiracy theories that I like to watch, because he'll talk about like eventually the universe will just lose all of its energy. Like time will just go on forever, and then everything, no matter what it is, like energy will eventually run out and it will become a black hole, and even that will become like with no energy, and it will become a ghost planet or a ghost universe or something where nothing has any light, there's no energy, nothing's moving, it's just is. That's Jesus. What they hypotheticalize or whatever.
You don't watch that before you go to bed, do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No way, brother.
That's the type of shit I'm on. That and like a little bit of melatonin, and you're gonna have yourself a good nightmare.
I was gonna say that's nightmare fuel. I've been on sleepy time tea and magnesium, and I'm dreaming not about
the whole
this.
Magnesium thing. I tried to get on that kick. I did CrossFit like a few years ago.
Yeah. Just had to drop that in.
Well, the reason I'm even bringing that up was like they were like, "Yo, you gotta stay full of electrolytes," and part of that is like magnesium. So I was doing electrolytes which already had magnesium in, not me knowing that. And then I was taking extra magnesium, shitting my pants all the time.
Yeah, you got to be careful with magnesium.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
I just was like, hey, a little is good, more is better.
Yeah.
That whole guy thing.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what it is, it's like, I'm going to do whatever this is to the extreme because I want the best results.
No, the dose is the poison on that.
Yeah, no, that's insane. That's why, like, these people, I know you're, like, making fun of my little feed, but, like, that's why people go, like, human growth hormone and get unbelievable because they're, like, they go too fast.
Yeah.
They think, oh, I want to get jacked, but then they go, like, crazy overboard.
Well, that's like the whole thing with that isn't it put like a lot of, I mean, obviously on your heart and stuff, but on your tendons, it just like, that's why people like tear their biceps and shit because it puts crazy stuff on their tendons.
Yes. Literally look
up like 12 coolest tendon tears or whatever. 10, 12.
No. Literally look at any Ronnie Coleman old school videos like this and then look at him now. He can barely walk now.
Well, because he had his back fused, right?
Well, but that's from doing so much heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't just visually impressive. He was actually super
I've watched
strong.
a lot of that stuff. Oh, yeah,
It's crazy.
absolutely. Yeah,
he was, like, a lot
back
of the...
squatting 800 pounds for reps and stuff.
I mean, literally, he brings it up on Joe Rogan where he's like, I was hack squatting or leg pressing 2,300 pounds.
That's crazy. I always
feel
feel
bad.
bad.
Everybody you're really close to.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
Hey, look, that's like 16 times more people than I know.
Oh, dude, absolutely. That's like an entire high school full of people that I knew.
That's crazy.
I don't know. The thing with that kind of thing, like...
And motherfucker was a cop.
Yeah.
While he was big.
For that kind of stuff, I always feel bad now, but like imagine feeling like as powerful as that dude felt for as long as he felt.
Dude, I mean,
I'm obviously not
to be shitty on us, but like we have no idea.
No clue. Yeah, no clue at all.
Dude, if a muscle even popped out on us, we wouldn't know what to do. We'd be acting totally
muscles,
different,
bro. We just don't got that kind of muscles. I'm
not convinced we have muscles.
Brother, I felt your muscles. You got them quads, brother.
Right,
I've seen them. You got them short shorts on all the time. I'll be looking at your legs.
I'll be trying to show off the only thing that I maybe have.
You got legs. You got arms and shit too. Don't be hard on yourself.
No, dude.
Not in front of me, dude. That's my friend you're talking about.
I might be hard on myself because I don't feel hard to myself, if that makes sense.
Hey.
That's some deep life shit.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
That is insane. Just like the amount of muscle on his body in general, he's not flexing in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I was going to say, he probably just
fucking
feels terrible. I mean, as powerful as he probably felt, it probably just feels stiff and terrible. Because not that, like, obviously, I'm not lifting anywhere near the weight that Ronnie Coleman was. But when you lift heavy, I don't know, I just always feel shitty. Like, definitely the older I've gotten, I feel, like, way, way worse.
I mean, a lot of it, too, is probably, like, proper form. Like, these dudes are doing this professionally, but also...
For sure.
That body is not supposed to be able to lift that kind of weight. Like, yeah, you might be able to physically do it, but your joints don't know that... Your joints are not 800 pounds strong. They're joints.
I'm just watching him rep out 135 on bent over rows to warm up.
Insane,
like it was nothing.
I am, like, struggling on that.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, they just went from immediately to 225.
Yeah.
It was like,
Dude, also, like, I know you just, like, kind of saw my feed and you saw the Sam Sulek thing. Just the amount of shit that he's doing, like, where he is just... If you don't lift weights, when somebody is lifting something heavy and they get to a point where they start doing partial reps, you're like, dude, you're big as fuck. Just push it. But then you do something, like, I don't want to say barely, but, like, I'm doing 3 sets of 135, and on that third set of 10, like, I'm at the end of the 10, and I'm like...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I look like I'm having a seizure on the bench.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And I'm like, don't touch it, I got it.
Yeah. Dude, it's always funny to me just what people naturally are better at strength-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like, I don't know, like my bench has always been terrible. Not to sit and talk about weightlifting, but my bench has always been terrible, and I've tried to push it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've tried to push it, but then like I also have like the weird thing where like, because I was a chubby kid growing up, that as soon as I start putting weight on, I'm like, oh no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Even if it's like I'm eating well, I'm lifting weights, like that kind of thing. I'm like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I start to, dude, he's about to row 315 pounds.
Dude, this isn't even crazy. Have you seen the golden barbells?
The dumbbells?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rich Piana He has like a little crew. I mean, obviously he's passed since
Yeah.
then, but like he would rep them. Like,
That's
the
crazy.
bent over rows where you're just doing a single arm. He would do that like for reps.
That's crazy.
So this can't be that much to him. Like, look, he's just like fucking around with it. He's throwing it around. I can't even do this 135 like that. I'm not nowhere near that speed. I'm like,
yeah, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
Definitely not these days.
But
bro.
like, dude, to go on that mindset where you were like, once you start putting on weight, I couldn't relate to you more.
It's difficult.
I want to be difficult. My size but shredded, or like whatever my size good looks like good. But if I started being like, if I couldn't get down to the weight in my mind that I feel like I want to be at this weight, like in my mind, I would love to walk around 185. I've seen people much smaller than me that seem to be the same physical stature as me, like weight wise smaller though, and be great looking.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I want to look like that. Like, and I know this is such a weird reference, but like, even like Craig Jones just looks great, and he's not even doing anything.
Yeah, he's got that like swimmer's body.
Yeah,
like
it's long. Not physically impressive, but he's got like a nice midsection. Yeah, he just looks good without a shirt on, and I'm like, I just want to look good without my shirt on, dude.
Dude, that's been my whole life, man, and I still don't. But that's why I'm
like, do we ever get out of that shadow? I guess not.
No, I think that's body dysmorphia is what you're describing. It's pretty real. Dude, yeah,
that's insane.
What was that? 405.
4 plate. Yeah.
Jesus.
It's not like he's put any extra weight on the bar. He's moving it just as much.
The same. I mean, he's like super upright, but either way, I mean, that's over my deadlift one rep.
El Campeon?
Yeah.
Or El, how do you say that?
You had it right as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. He'll be doing shit like this, and he'll have that.
But he'll move it this far. You know, he's just
if he moves it at all.
Yeah, he's like pulling his shoulders
and
back.
He'll be like,
yeah.
Whipping himself with the belt.
That dude rules.
He is.
I wish I had half the confidence.
Cannot knock him because he is himself.
Yeah.
You might think he's putting on for you, but he is being himself. He's putting on a lot of weight to do things to like show how impressive like some things he can do is, but like he's just being himself.
Well, I think what's funny too is like, and I would mess up actual numbers, but have you seen like, Larry Wheels?
Yes.
Have you seen him working out with Larry Wheels?
I really don't try to watch him because like, I'll tell you the people I watch Trend Twins because they're hectic and I love the like dynamic of how bipolar they are. Mm-hmm. It's got to be like that. It's got to be that or like Sam Solik, and I know that's so different, but like he's so informative.
Sure. Well, I saw like Jeff Nippard and stuff like that.
Jeff Nippard because I'm trying to learn about like proper lifting because I don't want injuries to happen again. Like I want to get my body in a better place.
Yeah, I do want to ask you about that in a second. But dude, 100%. What I more mean is like with the El Campeon thing. It's funny because I saw, and I don't watch Larry Wheels stuff other than like stuff that pops up on my feed, but he did a workout with Larry Wheels, and Larry Wheels was I saw coaching his form, and he was still lifting pretty damn heavy.
Yes.
And it's like, dude, you don't even he's strong as shit. And some of that stuff, like even moving, Jesus Christ, but even like moving some of the weight, even just like a little bit is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It just looks stupid.
It is.
Yeah. How is your knee?
It's okay. Like I tell anyone that asks, it's regular person ready.
Okay.
Like I can do regular shit all day long, but it's not jiu-jitsu ready yet.
Sure.
I don't think it is. This comes out, I think I will have already tried to go to Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yes. So when this comes out 2 days ago,
okay,
I will have gone to that open mat, or I at least think I'm going to try to, and just see where I'm at, because I will never know where I'm at without testing the waters of the actual movement.
Well, just pick your roles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the things that I'm talking about where I feel like it's not jiu-jitsu ready is my leg can't be like this pinned underneath me. Like I can't be on my knees sitting on my butt.
Okay.
Like, but I can butterfly now. I couldn't butterfly before the surgery, but now I've gotten to a point where the last, I don't know, month or so, I've weirdly asked people, hey, can I pick you up with my legs?
I
like
get
shit
it.
Like that. Like,
yeah.
Because that's not like, Yes, you can leg extensions at the gym. Like you can do that for weight, but like to physically move somebody in a jiu-jitsu
Well, it's like an
sense,
angle.
yeah, like
It's like
a
an angle.
butterfly
Yeah.
sweep type deal. It's a much different movement on the joint because
Sure.
it's not set in one line.
Right.
There's a lot of movement to it, and that's the things that I'm like trying to be strong with. Like before the surgery, I couldn't have anybody like if I'm in a jiu-jitsu spot, like I'm on my back, I can't have you grab my foot and push it in. And now I can. It's like different. There's still pain.
Dude, just go slow. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking is like I'm in my head about it obviously, and I wanted to take enough time away that I could like build the structure that I needed to, because when I was doing the rehab for it, it was exhausting.
I bet.
But my leg physically feels better, like structurally. Like it feels like I'm more sound in certain ways than I was before. So I'm like trying to build upon that. So whenever I do come back, I'll be getting the correct movements in jiu-jitsu, but I'll also be strengthening it outside of jiu-jitsu. So hopefully over the course of that time, I'll be able to preserve the length of time that I can do jiu-jitsu. And that is my ultimate goal. Like I'm not trying to squat 500 pounds or anything. I just want to get to where I can continue jiu-jitsu, like not competitively for my whole life, but like without being like, hey, don't do this, don't do this. I want to be able to like, and I know over the course of time, like you'll slow down, of course.
Yeah.
Like
well,
you can't go.
We're the same age, right?
I don't know.
Like,
how old are you?
I'm 33. You're 34.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've also been doing it a lot longer than I have. But
Yeah,
that's
but
the thing
you're like
that I
a
had
bully on the mat. You break people's limbs and shit.
Not even close.
I think you broke Josh's foot.
No, he was telling everybody.
No,
I
I'm
broke his
pretty
foot.
sure.
No. That
There's
was
a Reddit
Scott
page
Thomas.
that talks about you bullying people.
No, there is not.
I'm just saying.
That's bullshit.
All right.
I do
That's
not
what
bully
they said
anybody.
you'd say.
Yeah, okay.
It's on the fucking.
Now I know you're bullshitting.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that was the thing that was weird that I've kind of like the past 6 months had to kind of get into my head, because I didn't start jiu-jitsu till I was 31, and I did no grappling before, and I was in like okay shape, like as far as like compared to the shape I had been in before. I definitely think I'm in better shape now, but it's.
You look good.
Thanks, dude. Well, it's for me. It's like I think getting through my head, like I won't say names, but like whenever people come in that are newer that have a background in grappling,
That do or don't.
do,
Okay.
and that give me problems.
You're talking about Hilton.
No, dude, I do have a funny thing about Hilton later, but it has nothing to do with grappling.
Okay.
No, like, I mean, one person I'll bring up is Charlie. You know Charlie.
Yeah.
From the gym. Like, dude, when Charlie first started, you know, because in wrestling you lead with your head, and I would just snatch guillotines on him all the time.
He's what, 18, but he looks 45.
He's starting to try to look older, and that dude rules. By the way, he's
super
awesome.
I'm
cool.
fucking with him. I know who Charlie is.
Yeah. But it's in my head, man. Like a couple weeks ago, like Charlie put it on me, dude, and I was like, man, Charlie's been training for like less than a fucking year.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, Charlie's been wrestling since he was in middle school.
Yeah.
So he's just now figuring out the jiu-jitsu stuff. I mean, he hasn't gotten me yet, but he's like so fucking
When
close.
you come into jiu-jitsu with a wrestling background, it's kind of like whenever, and I only reference his game because it's the only game I really played that has this kind of thing, but it's kind of like when you're playing a game like Need for Speed, and then you see other parts of the map that aren't unlocked yet, but then as soon as you figure out, like he has this part of the map unlocked because he's a wrestler.
Right.
And then there's unlocked parts because it's jiu-jitsu, but when he figures out how similar some of the technique is and he can apply it, that part of the map will instantly unlock, and he'll be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So he'll have a level up. When he does level up, it'll be like more aggressive than a regular person that has nothing
For sure.
and levels up.
Well, because definitely, like, I feel like if you start with if you start with a wrestling background, you don't have to worry about the stand-up game.
Yeah,
you have that,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you don't have to. You can take 6 months to play guard because you've been fucking wrestling for 6 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you can. For me, I'm still, because I think March will be 2 years of like actual, like after I get, thanks, dude. After I like got my ankle broken, and that was like 3 months that I don't really count. Even though
Is that why
maybe
you break people now? Because you got broke so early?
Yeah, that's what
It's
is.
fine, dude. Like, we all have
Dude,
our things.
But yeah,
You hurt people, dude. It's
I'll
cool.
try to. I'm going after that knee when you get back. But
Jesus.
take
I may
that
never
home
return.
with me. Yeah.
Maybe I didn't go Saturday.
I'll do it after we get done with this
Are you
podcast.
going to be there Saturday?
No, dude, I got my stomach tattooed.
Oh, I think I'll be there then.
You're gonna go because I'm not going.
I think so.
I might just show up. Dude.
I just want to be
I'm gonna
safe.
saran wrap that motherfucker up and show up.
Dude, how many times I've gone right after getting my back tattooed?
You said you had problems with staff and stuff before?
Yes, but because I've had it so many times, like I understand when and where it starts and how it looks and feels.
I mean, I've had it 3 times.
Yeah.
So
I've had it break out since I was 16, 6 or 7 times.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was like some happened without jiu-jitsu well before jiu-jitsu.
Sure.
And it was just like weird situations, but
yeah. I'm nervous with just the size. I'm going to go in, what's it, Thursday. I'm going to go in Thursday and just drill. But like going and getting sweaty and actually like having the mat covered in other people, that's not like, I don't feel ready for that. I'll probably do that Monday, which I know that's only an extra couple days, but I feel like it'll be healed enough.
Sounds like your boy is scared.
Yeah, I'm dodging you.
Hey, yo, me coming back with one leg versus you with a belly tattoo?
Dude, also, you did not exaggerate how bad that is.
Not even close.
It's bad, dude.
It's the worst shit I've ever felt ever. And I'm solid.
Well, and that's why you were the first person I asked.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, surely Cody knows what it feels like.
Ouch.
What's funny is since then, I've talked to like 3 or 4 other people before I got it done because I just kept asking. And everybody was like, yeah, it's the worst. Yeah. And then I tried the Mad Rabbit stuff.
Immediately the worst.
It was, dude, as soon as I tried the numbing cream, as soon as he pulled the first line, I was like, didn't work.
Yeah.
Numbing cream didn't work.
I hate that feeling, dude.
As soon as he pulled it.
Man.
And what was funny, too, is because
you're like, I fucked that up. I don't know how I did that, but
I fucked it up.
And we're here.
Oh, dude. And then it was like 3 hours-ish. Oh, my God. Well, it sucked, too, is because he was like, so I'm doing Naga in January. And so the thought is like,
I thought you were tired.
Did I?
I think after the last Naga, you were like, I don't know if I'm going to compete anymore. I think that's not really my thing.
Yeah, I said that, but I'm going to do it.
I love to hear that you're coming back.
I'm going to do it. I probably won't do, because I'm not ready for like the whole super fight thing. Yeah. I don't really care to do that. Maybe it's too much pressure, I think. Like it would ruin it for me, but I don't feel nervous about doing Naga.
Yeah.
Because I can also control, like, one, you're not in the middle of a room of people that are just staring at you.
Yeah, there are eyes, but they're not just on you.
Right, like your homies are looking at you, and that's it, Yeah. But there's 10 fucking mats going.
Yeah. Maybe I'll make a return if like I can get other training partners than you, because you hurt me last time. So if I can figure out other people, I
think Matt's taking credit for that.
Who?
Morning Matt. He's taking credit for blowing your knee out.
Morning Matt.
Longer hair. He was rolling with you.
Is this a joke? Who is Matt?
I'm not kidding.
Matt?
Yeah. Matthew, probably. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
You do.
Are you being...
I'm being dead serious. I'm being way more serious than me.
The only Matt I know is Matthew Moody, and he owns a gym.
No, it's not him. No. No, he's a newer guy. He was probably like brand new whenever you got hurt. You probably rolled with him once or twice. But you one of the times that your knee came out was with him. And then another was with me.
What the only times I remember is Jackson initially hurting me.
Oh, did he?
That's how all this came to be.
Okay, I didn't know
and then John Michael? I was rolling with John Michael, I think, the Friday before the actual Naga, and it like popped in and out, and I was like, man, this might be it. And it was it. I didn't compete. And then the last time I rolled with you, it popped in and out.
That was the last time.
The last time I rolled, period, Derek put me out. And I was like...
Oh, I was there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, sick.
Dude, speaking of, you saw
Congratulations.
Congratulations to
That's
Derek,
fucking
dude.
wild.
It's awesome. It's sick.
Very well deserved. It was him, Kevin Beering, and Luke.
Yeah.
Like,
I say that like I know Luke, but yeah. No, dude, sick.
Well deserved.
Super, super cool. That's what, as soon as I found out, because I think Luke posted something, because I just follow him in Instagram. We don't know each other, but he posted something and it had Derek in it, and I was like, no shit. And then Derek doesn't tell anybody anything, so I just immediately messaged Josh and then was like, because I didn't get to go to team training.
Me neither.
But
I didn't even. Actually was gonna make my return at that Saturday.
Yeah, that was when you were texting me about it.
Yeah, and I was like, sick, I'll be there. And you're like, actually, I think they're all gone.
Yeah, they're all in Atlanta.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's but that's awesome, man. I'm super pumped.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's got to feel good,
dude.
I mean, I know like nobody gives a shit about the belts, but like it still feels good to be recognized for like
you
hard
feel
work.
like you're going in the right direction. Obviously, we all know that like we all feel like we're all gonna go to black belt in our minds because we're like, well, I don't foresee me ever stopping this.
Right.
So you're like, eventually, it's a foregone conclusion that you'll get there. But it's awesome to see somebody that is so like, I don't know if mellow is the word, but like he's not like I need this. He's for the greater good of the room. Like he's
for sure.
He's pushing the room in the right direction, not for self benefit.
For sure.
Like dude, he cares outside of himself.
He's
really cool
awesome
that
guy.
he gets spotlighted.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude, and we've had like conversations one-on-one. And I think anytime anybody's giving you a compliment to your face, it's kind of awkward, and like I do that to him a lot because I'm always like, man, like it's so cool what you've created here. Yeah. Like it's without, I mean, because I've only ever trained at 2 different places. Obviously, the first place didn't go very well, but walking into that room day one, even before I was like overly comfortable, I was still comfortable. Yeah. And I was like, everybody here, because the first person that I got partnered up to drill with was Xavier.
Oh wow!
And he's the shit,
mellow
dude.
Guy.
So super mellow, felt immediately comfortable.
Yeah.
And then from there, just everybody was like that. And Derek was like that from day one. So it's always...
They're probably really scared of you.
Who? Nobody's afraid of me, man. Nobody's afraid of me. I promise you nobody's afraid of me. But it's... yeah, it's cool, man. I think I hope he realizes how cool it is that... and how important what he does and how, like, that room is to a lot of people. Like, that is the highlight of my week most weeks. Same with a lot of people. I mean, outside of like, you know, obviously I'm very, very happy and fortunate that I have a lot of really awesome people in my life and I'm very happy in general, but it just is a highlight of my week to go in there and like talk shit and feel comfortable and go hard and know that everybody has your back. And then the same, and with Derek, dude, like just having conversations with him, it's like, he feels like the Buddha, dude. He's just like he's just super zen, but also could, you know, break you off if you wanted to, which he has started doing more and more to me.
Yeah.
And it's gotten, dude, nobody gives me shit anymore, which is awesome because I'm like, hell yeah, I'm like hanging with the dudes. But then it's also like every time I'm like, these are gonna be hard rounds, dude.
Well, just so you know, I've been training in the shadows. So
is that it?
Maybe nobody's been giving it to you lately, but...
You're going to? You and Carter got my number?
Bane, the Dark Knight, whatever you want to call me, I'm coming back.
You're coming?
I'm a John Wick your ass.
I'm down, dude. I'm down. I would love for you to beat me up again.
No, I'd never beat you up. That's fine, though. But I do appreciate you putting on like I do.
Yeah, okay.
People are going to believe this. You're such a nice guy that people believe that you like I compete with you.
Yeah, well... Because you do.
I do appreciate you doing that for the camera.
Yeah, okay. That's what it is. I used to tell Brandon whenever Marquette, whenever he would come in to get his haircut, I'm like, tell everybody in here I like do well.
I'm good.
Yeah. Please tell all these people that I do well.
He's like, yo, he's good at jiu-jitsu. And they're like, the way he said that seemed
good. And Brandon just ragdolling me like every single night. I'm like, please tell him I do okay. But yeah, man, it'd be cool to have you back in the room. It's been really fun. I've definitely enjoyed it. It's funny because like I feel like now, for the longest time, and I mean you've been training for how long now? Like
2016.
Damn.
Yeah.
So like
too long.
I'm sure you've probably hit moments like this, but like I've hit a moment where I'm taking it not seriously at all.
Oh yeah.
And it's the most fun that it's been.
I wouldn't say the way you say it makes it sound different. It's not that you're not taking it serious. It's that it's no pressure. It's light.
I think it
feels good. Things are moving. It's flowing.
Well, and I don't care about winning.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. I mean, I say that and I was like, oh, Charlie beating up on me or whatever. But like, because I'm just hard on myself. But I don't care about winning the rounds necessarily. So I have more fun playing in that space.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying different things as opposed to just like going to the same dilemmas that I always go to. You know, I'm like, well, fuck it. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to get hurt. I mean, unless it's a freak accident thing, but especially, and that's what I was saying about like Derek kind of creating a community of people that are like, just kind of down and cool, because I feel like you could legitimately roll hard with most people in there and no one's going to do anything weird.
Yeah.
They'll
like,
let go of stuff if they think you're about to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
I've had that happen plenty of times.
Like everybody is definitely growing, and it's not like ego driven roles.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that's because there's such a growing atmosphere or vibe.
Yeah.
Like the environment is built for us to grow. And I think that's why you're able to push with people, because everybody gets the gist that they're here to take care of one another. And it's like, we're nothing without the team. Like when somebody goes out, it's like, damn, we miss that person, or we miss that extra role or whatever, a different look. So it's like, we need to take care of one another.
For sure.
And that's a big part of like what makes a room successful.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it also just doesn't like, not that it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter if you tap somebody.
I mean,
it just doesn't matter at all.
Ever expanding.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
You know?
Yeah. One day the moon will be the asteroid belt.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't matter.
So what is like, even if you tapped Derek, your life doesn't change.
No, and neither is his.
It's like, even if you're chasing something and you're like, dude, I have Derek or Josh or anyone dead to rights, it doesn't matter. Like there's people that I've tapped that are like way better than me skill level. Sure. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't even matter if I tell you who it is right now.
Right.
I've tapped people that are way worse than me. Way worse people have tapped me.
Right.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't change. What changes is if you get a bad taste in your mouth and you never come back, or if you have a bad experience, if jiu-jitsu gets spoiled for you.
Absolutely.
That's what matters. So like, take care of your people.
Yeah.
Otherwise the sport can't grow.
Right. Well, dude, that was what I talked with Sarah, and I had a conversation about it randomly. I think it was like last week we were talking about it. And I was like, can you imagine if I had never started again? Like, because my first experience was not, I mean, it wasn't like crazy terrible, but it wasn't good. It wasn't like, you know, I went to a place, didn't feel like I fit in, got hurt within 3 months, like, and
Very
almost
easy to
had
walk
surgery.
away.
It's super easy to walk away. And I wanted to, but I didn't want to at the same time. And the thought of like, not just the amount of like personal growth that I've felt through doing it, and like the amount of, not like confidence in the sense of like fight confidence, but like the amount of confidence in feeling like, I don't know, this is a weird way to put it, but like the other day when I was getting tattooed and I was like, oh, this sucks. It's like, I feel like putting yourself in situations where you're like uncomfortable allows you to transfer that to other situations where you're uncomfortable. So like I've not been in like that sort of pain before.
Yeah.
But if you're in the bottom of like a arm triangle and you're trying to like fucking survive and let them blow their arms out so you can roll out of it, like, or let them take your back and then you got to fight your way, it's uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable the whole time, and you have to
familiar with it.
Right. And you have to figure out how to pace your breathing. And so those things I think like translate. I don't know. It's just, I think it definitely has made things like running easier, and because I'm like out of breath, but I'm like, at least nobody's like trying to like choke me.
The
right now.
pressure's different.
The pressure's different. Well, and then even doing things like competing, man, like that was a thing. I did some like Taekwondo competitions when I was a kid, but doing that kind of stuff, grilled cheese hot dogs, but doing that kind of stuff, it just makes, I don't know. I think it's important. It's super important.
I think it helps.
That's not a novel thought, but like, it's like people putting yourself in uncomfortable situations makes it to where you do better in uncomfortable situations. But there's a lot of growth there. Like doing it scared, there's a lot of growth there.
I think there's a lot of growth in doing anything, whether it's comfortable or not, that you're not used to. So like cooking, or like trying real estate, or like whatever it is. Like if that will breed more creativity in other areas. So like if you try to make jewelry for the first time.
Right.
Like that will make you more creative. Like maybe you go back to jiu-jitsu and you're like, I know it sounds so trivial or dumb. Like how could that translate? But you'll go into it like, you'll feel better. You're like, I did something else.
Right.
And like, maybe I can put a different spin on this. And I know this sounds very weird, but like maybe the way that the jewelry you made looked, you're like, what if I went that shape in this move in jiu-jitsu? I'm weird, dude. I don't know.
No,
like, that makes sense
saying.
in my head.
It creates, like, being creative makes you more creative.
Yeah.
So the more creative things you do, the more creative you are in all aspects. Yeah, man. I think, like,
the more you do things you don't do, the more you'll do things you don't do.
Right. Yeah, I think the thing for me, like, with doing it, because the only reason I use jiu-jitsu is, like, the litmus of, like, or, like, the like.
I do that a lot, and people hate that.
Well,
that
the reason.
Don't do it. They're
sure,
like,
sure.
Dude, why do you.
Well, so. For me,
hard.
the thing that jiu-jitsu did was to remove the I feel dumb being new at things.
Yes.
And I think and it allowed me to want to try a bunch of new shit because I no longer had the fear of looking stupid, right?
Yeah.
But the reason that I think jiu-jitsu did it versus anything else was because it's so physical and it's one-on-one. So it's not like I've played team sports and stuff growing up, but if your team loses, it doesn't feel nearly as bad as if like you personally lose, right? So like in doing jiu-jitsu, there's like it's the same with anything. There's a language associated with it, and like the base level of like this is what these things are. And when you have no frame of reference for what these are, you look stupid to yourself because it's so foreign. You know what I mean? It was like when I first started cutting hair. Using my shears and using my comb and just like learning how to palm those things to mess with hair in between, like I had to actively think about it. Yeah. And then eventually just got to the point where I'm just palming stuff, you know, like you get the muscle memory down. And in jiu-jitsu, obviously it's all muscle memory, but once you get over the fear of like the physical, especially for me, kind of talking about the whole like growing up chubby thing, like being a little afraid to, you know, one of my worst fears outside of like smiling people in the windows was like not being able to physically do something because I'm not physically able. You know what I mean? So that was like, because that just felt, there was like shame associated with that.
Yeah.
So being able to swallow that in a comfortable setting and be around people that made me feel comfortable enough to try that kind of stuff, I think it just bled into every aspect of my life. Yeah. Like the past year and a half or so, and part of it's probably me getting older too, but has just been like, I have been so much more zen since I started jiu-jitsu that the idea of me not having gone back in and just having jiu-jitsu as this thing where like I did for 3 months and I got hurt and I didn't make any friends and it sucked. That's a scary thought to me. There's an alternate reality where Tyler did that. And I'm like, that's kind of, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Like, speaking of like how difficult it is to start jiu-jitsu, learning jiu-jitsu is like learning a physical language.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you have no reference point on where to start. Mm-hmm. You're like, you're a baby, you don't know any English or whatever the language is. So it's like to start, you're just copying what people are doing. You're like, I saw that, I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. That is what I feel like. I'm trying to learn a little bit of Spanish right now because like I have Spanish people in my life that I'm like, more people need to talk to these people.
Sure. You want to communicate in their like native language.
Yeah. And I want, and the enthusiasm they have for you to do that, they're so appreciative.
Oh, absolutely.
So that is what it's like whenever someone starts jiu-jitsu, or at least how I feel like when I'm in the room, someone starts jiu-jitsu, you can see the like spark in their eyes. They're like, dude, this is actually pretty cool. Yeah. They're like, I'm actually learning something that isn't just like fugazi. It isn't just like it feels like magic, but it's not how magic has the connotations of like, this is just a trick you're playing on me. Right. These are real paths. You can actually use this if you needed to use this. You don't need to use it. Right. But it's a good skill to have. And it builds that character in your mind of like, I can do hard things because I can do hard things. Yeah.
It was funny because the whole reason I even got into jiu-jitsu is because I'd always been interested in it, but from a self-defense standpoint. Like I was one of those guys. And then now I'm just like, I like doing it. Like
Yeah.
I have no, dude, there's no, it's the same thing as like I have a gun I hope to never use. Like
Yeah.
I'm never I don't do jujitsu because I'm like, oh, I can beat people up, because I can't. But I also, it's like the variables are so crazy in a real world situation that it's like, yeah, you're not just like agreeing with your buddy to go hard and then stop when when one of you wants to stop, type thing. But like,
stop when I hypothetically kill you.
right, yeah.
All right, cool.
But it's literally just for like, it's for the fucking love of the game, dude. It's just fun, and it's so fun.
Thinking about that, like, to go further on that point, like, I think the more I've learned jujitsu, the even further. I already was non-confrontational, like I was never trying to get into any physical thing, but learning more about it, it makes me even more further away from trying to get, because best case scenario, you go against somebody that has no skill whatsoever, and then it's like you need to draw back because you could really hurt somebody.
Absolutely.
Best or worst case scenario, they also know it, so you both can get really hurt.
Yeah.
So it's like not good either way. But to like talk about a different point, the amount of trust you have that you develop for people that you don't know at all. Like you roll with somebody for the first time at an open mat, and you're like, I know you'll stop. Like you just have that built-in trust that I know you'll stop and not kill me.
Right. It's a general understanding because of like the fact that
the respect you have for the sport.
Right.
Like Derek literally could have killed me.
Yeah.
He let go. I came back to consciousness. I'm fine.
Right.
He had the ability to physically kill me.
Right.
We all have that ability. We all make that unwritten agreement that like, yo, we're going to take care of one another. That is a crazy thing that I think bonds us all together, because like you're going through something very extremely difficult, but we're all learning at the same time. And within that, we're taking care of one another, like our lives, like our
I mean, even outside
health.
of like straight up death, there's like real world consequences, right? It's like breaks happen, like I mean, things happen. Nick just got his MRI back a couple weeks ago, and he's got a torn labrum from like when he got thrown.
Yeah, like 4 years ago. That's crazy. So it's been that long.
Yeah, it's been like 6 months.
It's crazy that his thing's taken way too long.
Yeah, but and that was a freak accident. Nobody meant to hurt anybody in that. So that still happens. But yeah, I think I'm cool with getting injured in the sense of as long as it's not on purpose.
Yes.
Like I'm okay with the idea to the extent that I can be. I obviously don't want it to happen. But I'm okay.
Of the game.
Right. But like but I know that if it happens with the people that I'm training with, it's not because of negligence. It's because it's a physical thing. And sometimes you fall, man. Yeah. Like you slip, there's sweat or whatever. I do think it's kind of interesting with jiu-jitsu, and just a point I wanted to bring up, because this is a thing that I've related to like cutting hair also, which you might have to follow me on this one, but it's so intimate that you get closer to those people faster. Mm-hmm. Because you're physically touching them. And there's not a whole lot of things that people do as an adult in your day-to-day life that you're physically touching another person. Yeah. Specifically like a man to a man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you have partners and stuff like that. And, I say that. But I mean, nobody's touching other adults. We'll say adults. Like adults are not just randomly touching each other. You shouldn't. But it's when you go into an area like that. Like I remember specifically, like when I first started, and even when Nick first started doing jiu-jitsu, like they'd be like, okay, like teaching basic arm drags, right? But it felt so like you could see the hesitation before he grabbed your arm, because I've known him forever. He's never grabbed my arm.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
I've
like
known
that
Nick
kind
for
of
a long
thing.
time too.
Right. And then like one funny thing was like Josh and I, one time we were this was a couple months ago, we're like swimming in a pool, and we had both set like a sparkling water up next to the, like on the ledge. Mm-hmm. And we came back and we were having the like, who do you remember? And I was like, dude, I've drank your sweat. Just grab one. It doesn't, like for a moment I was like, oh, who's this? And I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah. I think
you've been on top of me sweating into my mouth. Yeah. Like, take it. And the same thing cutting hair. Like people get, I think I talked about this last time too. People get very comfortable very quickly. And like I try to make people comfortable very quickly because very rarely am I going up and touching someone's head in public. You know what I mean? That you don't know, that you met 2 seconds before, and now I got to touch like a pretty intimate part of your body.
Yeah.
No way. So it's cool. It's cool to see the relationships kind of pop up
Yeah.
in the sport very quickly. And I think everybody that does it, kind of like you were talking about, like the trust, it's because you're like, oh, well, I understand just because of the fact that you're here that you get it.
Yeah.
So I already trust you. And sometimes you shouldn't,
Yeah.
for sure. There's a couple people that even locally you hear the name and it's always associated with like was an asshole, or like hurt me, you know, but I don't know. I think it is cool. It's cool to see. And I think there's a lot of parallels in like just the physical touch that happens with it with like, I mean, same thing as like massages and like all of that stuff.
Yeah. It is weird, the parallel of like, not that I ever was like a germ guy. Like, I don't care. We're all like the 5-second rule. Dude, it could be a 20-second. I got it. Like, dust the hair off, whatever. It's fine. But like the amount of like comfortability I have now, which it's not that it wasn't before, but like, I think if you do martial arts, you're like, dude, I don't care if you drink after me. Like, that is for sure a thing. I'm like, try my drink. And they're like trying to waterfall. And I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, I think that just comes, and that's a strange side effect. I mean, some people get even worse with the germs. They're like, oh, no, don't touch my shit after doing jiu-jitsu. But jiu-jitsu has a different effect on everybody. But I don't know. I love jiu-jitsu. I recommend it. It's chef's kiss.
It is fun, man. If you get with the right people, it's awesome. It's the coolest thing.
I think that's with anything. Like, if you're in the right supporting environment, you feel comfortable to try things that maybe you were never tried before, or you never even, like, I used to cringe when I saw like fighting videos, like street fights, whatever it was. I'd be like, oh my god, I can't look, like that's crazy. And that was part of the reason that I was like, I need to watch fighting. Like, I need to get over that. I got over that, and then it led me eventually to trying it. Now I do it. Like, so like pushing yourself past things that feel comfortable can lead you into a positive direction.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Before we get out of here, is there anything coming up? Like, I mean, you said Naga, so you got something coming up.
That's it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it. No, otherwise, I don't have anything going on. That's what I was like. My life hasn't really changed that much in a good way. I keep it pretty simple, but yeah, no, not at all.
You have an awesome life from like an outsider's point of view. Like, you and Sarah, cute as fuck.
Thanks. Yeah.
Like, you do jiu-jitsu. You're like making a living for yourself cutting hair. You're very cool.
Thank you. I'm a big
fan.
Well, I appreciate that. I definitely, sometimes it's not lost on me that like the things that like we do as hobbies are unusual. Like, because I do talk to so many people that like at work, right? Like, I'm talking to people, and you talk to some people that kind of just work like not that there's anything wrong with a regular 9 to 5, but work a regular 9 to 5, and then it's like, what'd you do this weekend? And they're like, nothing.
Yeah, I didn't work.
Right. It just weren't at work. So it's definitely it's funny how like that kind of stuff just seems so normal to me. Just like, but it's to some people they're like, oh dude, I go fishing like once every 6 months, and I'm like, bro, I go fishing every week. Like, that's my thing. I love it.
It's crazy how different life is, like, in comparison to like when we were kids. Like, I feel like that's all I ever watched adults do was work and then not work.
Yeah, that's what my parents did.
And it's like I work 2 jobs, like pretty full. I mean, full time at one, and then I literally don't have a day off right now. Like, I work every single day, and I have for like since knee surgery basically. Yeah. And I still find moments to live life, and like, yes, I'm not doing jiu-jitsu quite yet, but I plan to restart jiu-jitsu. But I'm still doing things, the podcast, lifting, walking all the time, like working on myself in many. Started therapy. Like,
that's awesome.
There's a bunch of things that I'm personally working on. Yeah. That makes me feel like I'm living and I'm breathing and like I'm doing things and I'm going in the right direction. Right. Maybe not everything is, but that momentum is like a fire, and it can catch in other areas of your life, and eventually everything will be going in the right direction. And even if things go backwards, you have enough momentum going in the right way, you can figure that out and keep going.
100%. Yeah, I think that's awesome, dude. Like the more, I think it's cool to hear that kind of stuff because that's like what I try to do too. You know, at the same time, a lot of like all of the stuff that I do, the basis of it originally was like anxiety driven. Like I do a bunch of shit because I can't sit still, like because I feel super anxious.
Yeah.
Probably need to do some therapy instead. I'm doing everything else, but it's that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that you're like doing super well. I mean, because it seems like it too. You're also very cool. Everybody knows you. Everybody loves you. You're awesome. I mean, that's what I'm like. Get back into jiu-jitsu so that way I can hang out with you more. Because I have very limited time to do things, so it's like trying to do a bunch of different random stuff. I'd love to see your face more.
I appreciate it.
And you're not ugly.
Hey.
So you got to stop saying that.
Well, that's a single point of view. You're already a taken man. You can't give me compliments like that.
Yeah, dude, but you know,
You're spoken for.
I'm spoken for.
The avenue's not even available. So what are you talking about?
I'm just trying to dole out happiness, man.
I appreciate it, dude. It also isn't lost on me the things you just said.
Good.
It's not often that people give people flowers, and I do really appreciate it because I don't have a lot of flowers sitting around, and that feels good.
Sure.
So
dude,
thank you for
good.
that.
Well, and that's what I was saying, like with Derek, like giving him compliments, like giving people compliments to their face. I think there's a thing where like, because I don't know how to take stuff either. And I'm a bad gift acceptor in general because I want to give whatever the person, because I will feel like genuine happiness.
Yeah.
But I don't know what my expression is giving to the person that just did that, whether it's like a compliment or like if I'm giving them what they were looking for. And then that just kind of spirals in my head. Like when I go home after you just told me that you thought I was cool, I'm going to think all night long, like, what the fuck did I say right after that? I'm going to be thinking about it for, dude, guaranteed. I'm going to think about it. Yeah, I'm going to think about that and whether or not what I said sounded douchey. Probably every time I see you or your name pops up indefinitely. At least right before. Yeah,
I'm
cool.
like, hey man, I think you're pretty cool. And you're like,
I'm like, yeah, I do some cool shit. Yeah, a lot of people don't. I do. Yeah, that's what it felt like I said. So I hope that's not how it came across. But yeah,
like,
definitely.
I just came to. I have no idea what I did.
Right before I go to bed tonight, as soon as the eyes are closing, I'm gonna feel the little guilt in my stomach that I said something stupid. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Dude, no, you handled it great. I promise. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna shout out the sponsor. But if you want to take one of the pins and sign the wall,
okay.
Like sign wherever, however big.
Cool.
Say whatever you want to say. That is the Wall of Fame. So
I'm gonna write something. I think I signed it last time.
You can sign over the same thing. You can sign another spot.
Cool. I'm gonna write something under there while you're doing
that. You want, brother. Before we get out of here, I just wanted to shout out one of our sponsors, Johnny Mumbles at Sacred Grounds Tattoo Studio. He does phenomenal work. He's doing my back right now. He's done a little bit of a piece on Hilton, and he's gonna finish Hilton's sleeve out. We're getting really close on my back, so we're almost finished with like the structure of the back. We're about to finish the bottom and then build around it, and then hopefully continue to wrap my body. So if at all, I'm just going to be a walking billboard for Johnny. And if you want to check out his stuff, he does amazing visuals on Instagram at Johnny Mumbles, or you can check out their actual studio page at Sacred Grounds Tattoo Studio. Amazing work. I couldn't suggest getting tattooed by a better person. The studio in general has an amazing vibe. So there's great artists, not just with him, but like in the studio. Check it out on Instagram. Let them know the boy sent you. We love you, dude. We love you guys for listening. We love you, Tyler.
We love you, man. Appreciate you.
Can't thank you enough for coming in.
Dude,
it's
absolutely.
a pleasure every time. Again, you're cool. Say something. All right, we love you guys. We're getting out of here.